my fun break.
5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome everybody to Dice Camera Action, episode 10. Woo!
Woo! Everything's great.
Yeah, we have the whole gang back together.
Alton's back
Hooray!
in the thunder.
He's not drunk anymore.
Yes, which begs a question: how are we going to deal with Paulton's character? Because if you tuned into our last episode, the characters traveled to the small mountain village of Kresk, and they had in tow Diath's dead body, which, as you recall, Diath was hanged in Valaki's town square. So,
The corpse burrito.
right,
Mhm.
corpse burrito, exactly. Diath's ghost.
Real gentle, guys.
Yeah. Diath's ghost possessed Paulton's body, and inside Paulton tried in vain to convince his traveling companions that he was not simply Paulton, but Diath. Diath returned. That didn't go over so well.
No.
We thought Paulton was still drunk.
On the way to Kresk, the party found a corpse of a murdered peasant woman, whom they later discovered was until recently a resident of Kresk. She was involved in events here in this small village. Some time ago, the burgomaster's son died, this young kid, and the abbot brought this kid back to life. And that was the very rumor that you'd heard in Vallaki, that this abbot had done this deed, bringing somebody back from the dead. Well, when this kid came back, according to the burgomaster's wife, he later that night slit his father's throat and had to be tied up and bound because he was out of his mind. In other words, he didn't come back right. This peasant woman, feeling pity for the young lad, set him free and escaped Kresk with him, only she is now dead and his whereabouts are unknown. The party is in Kresk, having spoken to the burgomaster's wife about recent events and learned of these horrible things happening, decided nevertheless to take Diath's corpse up to the Abbey of St. Markovia, which is perched on a mountainous ledge overlooking the village. And what you know about this abbey was it used to be a sanctuary of good, that the priests and nuns who lived here helped the sick and the mentally disturbed. And St. Markovia was a real figure who, along with her followers, were all killed off by Strahd. The abbey fell into disrepute until this figure, this abbot, came along and took it over. And now the locals can hear at various times throughout the day the bell of the abbey ringing, followed by the screams of inhuman creatures within. And the party met a couple of these inhuman creatures. They were guarding the abbey gates, a pair of mongrelfolk. And they were very twisted. They seem to be a combination of humans and various animal parts. They also made their way into the abbey's courtyard. And in that, shortly after coming to the courtyard, they heard the bell ring, and followed by screams from within the abbey itself, calls for food, 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 food. So, the courtyard, as you recall, is lodged between the abbey's two major buildings, one of which appears to be the church part of the abbey, and the other seems to be the residence or hospital part of the abbey. The courtyard is completely enclosed by the facades of the buildings themselves and in stone enclosing walls that have these scarecrows of guards positioned atop them to make it seem like the abbey is guarded, although they're, as Strix realized, they're clearly harmless. Inside the courtyard, there are some gatehouses in which Evelyn has hidden in one with Diath's corpse.
Leaned up against the wall, kind of.
Yep. There are some horse troughs under which Strix has hidden under one.
Yep.
And there is a well in the center of the courtyard. And Paulton, I put that in air quotes because he was possessed by Diath at the time, decided to hide in the well when the bell rang. There's another creature in the courtyard too, tied to a horse tethering post, appears to be another mongrelfolk with bat wings, but she is completely chained up and really unable to escape. You just hear her flapping and also crying out for food. So when we left the party, we kind of left it in a bit of a cliffhanger because DF, as you wormed your way down into the dark orifice that is this stone well, a few moments later you realized you're not alone, that there's something breathing heavily in the shadows directly beneath you. I'd like you, DF, to roll initiative.
Oh God.
Okay.
And by this time, the bell has just stopped tolling.
All right. So is it my initiative or Polton's initiative?
Actually, because this is a physical reaction, this will be Polton's initiative. So Nate, I'll have you roll that.
Yeah. Okay. Take it away, Polton.
17.
Okay. And I'd like you, actually, you made a perception check last week, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So Polton/DF, you realize that there is a creature in the darkness directly below you. All you're able to see is that it appears to be a wiry, spindly creature, a little bit smaller than a typical adult human, about the size of maybe a 12-year-old child or something around that size. You can see what appear to be 3 red spider-like eyes on the right side of its otherwise human-like face. You can also see what appears to be, in place of one of its hands, a frog's foot.
Oh God.
Oh.
Since you actually get to act first and you're not surprised, what would you two like to do? And we'll start with you, Nate.
I'm going to go ahead. Does this thing seem malicious, or is this thing...
Based on the way it sort of crawled up the shaft and is bearing its horrible teeth, you believe it is absolutely a threat.
Okay. I'm going to... Let's see here. Can I try to put it to sleep?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Is that what you'd like to try to do?
Yeah.
All right. DF, what would you like to do?
Oh God.
That does not sound promising.
In my head, realizing that Polton is trying to take action, I think to myself, "Oh, now you're awake."
He was awake probably the whole time. He just didn't feel motivated to assert his personality until now that his life is in great
Now
peril.
the adrenaline rush is happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
You know what? I'm going to trust Polton's instinct on this one, and we'll attempt a said sleep spell.
Okay.
If we can't just take care of that bugger, sir, we don't have to worry about it.
All right then. In that case, you may take your action, Polton. And it's a DC. What's the spell save DC for your sleep spell?
Let me see. 5d8 looks like.
Oh, right. Yes, it's you roll a number of dice, and if its hit points are equal to or less than that, it falls asleep. Okay, so roll 5d8.
Okay.
This is all on you, buddy.
Here we go. 8.
Okay.
Good start.
8.
Yeah.
3. So 16, 19. 6.
25.
7.
32.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yes, you cast the spell, and the creature, you see its human eyes just sort of roll back into its head, and it loses its grip and plunges down into the shaft, and you hear a splash at the bottom.
Nice.
Well, executed.
And you think, based on how far it's fallen, it fell about 60 to 80 feet
Oh,
into water.
mind high five.
Fine 5. He just kind of closes his eyes like, yeah.
And it kind of made a sound like, as it fell back down the shaft. Is there anything you'd like to do? Because you've taken your action, but you still have technically movement. You could stay in the well. You could try to crawl back out. You could try to crawl down. Whatever you want.
Stay hiding.
Stay hiding.
Stay hiding.
So I need a little info on how this whole like shared space thing works.
Okay.
It says, "Shut up. We're still hiding." Everyone else is hiding a lot more.
But I can like know what he's like, what he wants to do, right?
So you're like two people in the front seat of a car, each with one hand on the wheel.
Oh God.
So the way this works is if at any time you don't want to do something that Diath wants to do, or vice versa, I'm going to have you guys make a charisma check, and the person who wins the check basically gets to, their action basically supersedes the other, and that's what you can do. So for instance, if Diath wanted to stay hidden, which he does, and you wanted to crawl out of the shaft for your own self-preservation or whatever, then I'll have you make charisma checks, and if you win, Paulton, you do exactly what you want to do.
Okay. I say
in the event of a tie, that counts as basically no change. So Diath by default would win in that case because you are already in the well.
Yeah, I have a 5% advantage.
okay.
But the bard's got the charisma.
I know. Shut up. I'm aware of that.
I'm gonna trust him on this and stay hidden.
Everyone else is hiding.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Pull their cover.
Okay then. So the bell has stopped ringing, and those who are now you're just below the lip of the well. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can sort of occasionally stick a little eyeball up and kind of look around just to catch us. And there's a bit of mist that's still in the courtyard to provide some obscurity. So I'd like you all to make a perception check.
Okay.
I'm underneath the trough.
Yeah, and but even the trough, because it's made of old wood, has gaps between
I'll
the
take
slats.
Ah.
I am so not perceptive.
No,
So
me neither.
Did anybody roll a 12 or higher?
25.
I didn't.
None of you?
25?
Sorry, 25?
25.
Okay. Diath / Paulton.
You're welcome.
You can
It's 25, obviously.
you hear the ground floor door to the church building open, and a grumbling voice seems to come out into the courtyard, a creature of some kind, and it just seems to be mumbling under its breath, and it also sounds like it's dragging something. And when you kind of peek up out of the well to kind of get a better sense of what it is, you can see moving through the mist in your direction, looks like it's trying to cross the courtyard, and the well is literally at the midpoint of the courtyard, is a clearly deformed creature. It's hard to make out details because of the fog, but it's a little shorter than human. It's broad, almost like a dwarf, and it's kind of weirdly lumpy in wrong places. But it is dragging behind it what looks like a cauldron. And it's pulling this cauldron across the courtyard toward the hospital / residence building.
Oh, that must be the lunch. Okay. Just chill. It's cool.
Yep. And I assume you're just going to lie low?
Yeah. No
Okay.
reason to.
And this creature passes really close to the well. I'd like you, Paulton, to make a stealth check, please.
Oh, wait. No, I'm better at that than him.
You can actually make it 2 if you want.
Okay.
I love
This
the two characters in one body thing.
This is a case where I'll let the highest roll determine your stealth.
All right.
15.
18.
All right, 18 it is. The creature, as it goes by the well, I have to check. It's going to be close.
Oh, God. I'm just like eating jelly beans under this horse straw.
Okay.
Like, ah.
It stops.
Oh,
next to the
no.
well. And actually, you can hear splashing below you. which seems to be the creature that you dropped in the water. Just some of that noise from its splashes seems to be coming up. It seems to catch this creature's attention, and it stops next to the well. And you can hear it grunt and groan. You're pretty clear it's heard something in the well. What would you like to do?
Cry.
Run away crying?
Don't run away. We learned that already.
Okay.
We gotta shut that thing up.
The thing at the bottom, it just you put it to sleep and it fell, and I imagine the impact probably woke it back up right away. So all it really did was buy us some time, but also bought it for ourselves. I don't know what stuff you have. Normally, I'm pretty prepared for like distractions and all kinds of cool tricks. What do you got? Freaking
Let's shit.
cast a nets.
Right. I could play a fun little tune. What we could do? Can I try and put him back to sleep? Like, no, shut up.
You absolutely could. Now that he's down in the water, you could cast the spell again.
Okay.
Now, sleep. I'm just looking up here.
Is that a verbal component?
I was going to say it has verbal components.
We don't want that. They'll hear us.
Yeah.
Okay. Lay low?
Yeah, maybe it just needs a break.
Well, you think, based on how dark it is in this well, that were you to crawl down, it would be a lot harder for a creature up top to see you, even if they were looking down into the well.
So our options are stay here.
Stay here and almost surely be seen. If it has the wherewithal to look into the well, it will definitely see you.
Hop out and be like, surprise!
Or hop out and say, surprise! Or go down into the well where you know that creature is. Now, it's about 80 feet below. You don't have to go that far. And
I guess you want to try to get back down, I guess.
Yeah, you're stronger than I'm used to, so we can climb that.
How dangerous does this chef creature look?
You actually haven't seen it.
Oh, I haven't seen it at all?
No, your perception check was not high enough to the creature.
I'm just like, do, how's it going? Yeah.
Pretty much you and I are the worst.
Yeah. Save yourself.
You're being like, Lathander, and I'm just like, I'm eating snacks under this bed.
All right. Polton, if you believe that we're able to climb down and keep ourselves there safely, I trust you on that. And if it doesn't go well, I mean, technically I'll be okay.
Great. All right, let's.
Things won't get worse for DF.
Yeah. But I'll mind tell him that we'll have a better shot at hiding if we do just lower ourselves slightly and trust him to.
Oh, DF, make an intelligence check for me.
Okay. 21.
21.
11?
11. Okay.
Stop snickering over there.
So 11 is actually good enough to know that there is a fourth option besides popping out and announcing yourself, going down deeper into the shaft, or just staying where you are. And it occurs to you that you are a ghost that can possess things.
Yes, thought of that too. Wasn't sure how much of a chance I'd have at that.
And you're an invisible ghost, so if you were to, you don't know necessarily the mechanics of how the possession works, so I won't explain those to you. But that is another option available.
Right. Okay. If this is the head of the abbey or whatever, or maybe it's just another, I don't know. Okay. Nope, I'm going for it. This is the safest thing we got. Halton, it's been fun. Thank you. And I will release him from my ethereal grasp.
Okay.
And then, struggle my way through the ether to whatever thing is up above. And
yes. Okay. In that case, I would like you to make a charisma check, opposed by its charisma check.
Which is still not great, but he's ugly, so maybe I have it. 18?
All right. You are able to rise up out of the shaft and take possession of this creature.
Okay, this is going to be hard. Got him. I feel gross. What am I?
So this is what you see when you emerge from the shaft. This is the creature that you now inhabit. Wait.
Ew.
Is that a second head?
It's a second head.
Ugh.
I'm like
a
a,
little baby head.
like
Yeah,
a gross.
it's got like almost like fawn, like a normal sized head, and then a little squalling baby head. The baby head looks like it's asleep.
Good.
And it's not carrying its instrument at this point in time because it's dragging this cauldron behind it.
Wow.
Didn't know it has musical skills.
That is a creature.
And you can see one of its hands is a little bit oversized, but otherwise human in the number of digits and whatnot. Its other hand is a crab's pincer.
Yay. Okay.
And now you are in possession of it.
Yeah, and I could tell where he was kind of dragging this cauldron, so to not give away anything.
And you can tell with his nostrils that there is a smell coming from the cauldron that suggests some kind of broth or soup.
Right. It's lunchtime. I gotta bring everyone lunch.
And Paulton, you can actually kind of catch a whiff of that too. Now that you are back in possession of your body, you feel this sort of cold rush, like a chill, just sort of wash out of you, and then suddenly, alarmingly, you're sort of back in control.
No, my other half.
You feel so lonely now?
You complete me.
Hit.
All right. Yeah, am I able to speak common or at all with this body that I have, or am I just like snarls?
You retain your language knowledge.
Okay.
So as long as it has the ability to speak, you can speak through its body, and it appears to.
Okay, so keeping it low, but loud enough so that Paulton within the well can hear me, I'll say,
yep,
whatever gross voice I have, Paulton.
Oh God, it knows my name. Oh no.
Paulton, get out, hide somewhere else before that thing gets you. And then I'm just going to take the cauldron that we were dragging before and continue it along its merry path, like nothing happened.
Okay. I'm going to have both Strix and Evelyn make another perception check. Let's see if they can hear this exchange.
I stopped eating jelly beans and paying attention.
Yeah.
13.
Yes.
15.
Okay, you both hear the exchange. The voice that you hear doesn't sound like any voice you recognize, but you do hear it refer to Paulton in the well as Paulton. That's a little confusing to you. Imagine this creature you've never met before just addressing one of your hidden comrades by his actual name.
Oscar is well known around everywhere in this
Oh my
realm.
I'm gonna
Part I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lift up my horse trough to get a better look at what said the name.
Yeah, you see this deformed two-headed creature leaning over the well.
Definitely weird.
Do I notice Strix poking her head out?
You would have known where Strix hid, so yes.
I'll look over at Strix and just go,
And I'm like, eh.
Yeah, this horrifically deformed creature is making gestures and pointing down.
I jumped back underneath
there.
the trough.
I heard some diss at Strix and she was here.
I was like, ah! The trough.
I'm also kind of trying to peek out and see what's going on, but still not engaging yet.
Okay, then you see this creature, this horrible creature you've never seen before, which seems to be acknowledging Strix and gesturing for her to stay hidden.
If that's what it's
so
just.
This would have been so much easier if you guys would have believed me. Okay, so I'm just gonna start dragging the cauldron over to the housing or whatever.
All right. And Paulton, you still now that you have your own action, what would you like to do?
Am I able to piece together like that was Dieth? It was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do what he said. So I get up out of that well. Where else is there to hide?
Let's see. As you look around, you can see there is another gatehouse that you can hide in. You can see there are 2 other horse troughs that you can hide under.
Okay.
There are also these along, sort of tucked against the walls of the courtyard, all of these chicken coops, but you can hear scratching noises of inhuman things trapped within them. You probably don't want to hide there.
Okay. I guess I'll hide under the troughs.
Okay, so Strix, in one of the troughs next to you, you can sort of see Paulton come up out of the well, scuttle over, and hurl himself under one of these troughs.
Okay.
Pull it over his head.
I'm gonna kind of like whisper and be like, "Why was the monster talking to you? Do you know him? Did you play a song for him once?"
No, that. Okay, so you know how y'all didn't believe me about the whole Diet thing? That was Diet. He's doing that thing with the possession and the mind and the control. It's not fun. It's really weird. I kind of liked it at some points, but for the most part, it was uncomfortable. But
How did you get drunk so fast?
What? I haven't had a drink in the day-ish. Okay.
Oh, maybe you're onto something. If it's at least been a day.
Yeah, I'm being real. I wish that's what that was. I am just dry. So
I said, if I'm peeking through and see him lift the cup back, I'm like, the cup's back. It's him.
told you.
All right.
Okay.
Strix is now thoroughly convinced Dieth is a ghost.
Okay.
Cup, that's what I needed to show him.
The
So
cup-
Dieth, as you drag the cauldron across the courtyard toward the other building, you see the door to the other building is closed. Next to that door is the tethering post that has the bat-winged mongrel folk chained to it. Do you want to do anything with her?
Yeah, they were mean and deserves to be punished.
Yeah, she sort of was very aggressive.
Yeah. Ha.
Ha!
Get him.
Am I able to access the knowledge or memories of this creature that I possess?
So no. You sense that the creature is with you, that you are suppressing it at the moment.
Good.
You could theoretically have a conversation with it like you just did with Paulton. Try to engage it, if you so wished.
Right.
But you'd have to ask it, like, what's your name? And it would have to tell you.
Where am I bringing this food?
When you do that, something bad happens.
Great. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
no.
so upfront about it.
That's so unlike you.
You seem to not only engage the more intelligent half of this creature, but you also wake the sleeping part of the creature. And it immediately begins to shriek like some sort of demon baby. And begin to sort of mewl and cry and make all these horrific noises. And then the other voice that you were trying to reach out to says, "Oh, great, you woke it."
Demon baby.
And now you've got this screaming baby thing.
Oh, this is my worst nightmare.
Yeah. And you can almost feel it sort of mentally kicking your seat.
Oh my God. You're forever trapped on a plane next to a baby. This is hell.
And and the other one says, "Oh, now I need a drink."
Of alcohol or this delicious broth?
Not this crap. Oh, God. And he says, "We have to feed the others."
Yes, let's do that.
The abbot insists. "Oh, I want to starve them." "Yeah, starve them." "Oh, but I can't. Curses."
Why would you want to starve them?
"Because they all suck.
Yes. Plain.
Family. Ow, gross. They're all crazy. They're always wanting stuff. Food.
Yes,
All I
but
do is make this stupid broth.
we don't
Tastes
want
like
to.
shit.
We don't want to anger them. There's more of them than us.
I know. That's why I want them all to starve.
This is your conscience speaking. You must feed them.
Okay.
It's for the good of all.
Anyway, all this is happening mentally. You make it to the other door. What do you want to do?
All right, let's open it up and bring the broth inside.
All right. Yeah, this cauldron is just super heavy too. Like it weighs about 200 pounds, and you're just.
I could feel like I got some strength behind me in this body.
Yeah, you do. A surprising amount, and you can also see that there's a spoon. There's a gap in the lid of the cauldron, so that the spoon can sort of rest inside the cauldron, and its handle sticking out. So obviously, you'll be using that as a ladle to serve it off. But when you open the door, you see a room beyond that used to be an office, as evidenced by the remains of a desk and a chair, both of which have been smashed to pieces. A hallway leads away in one direction to a staircase that goes up to the second floor of this residential building. You can also see a dark passageway leading deeper into this floor of the building. And you can hear it's filled with unnatural whispers, mad laughter, and bestial odors. And all you're able to gauge from this creature that you've come to know as Cloven is that all of the imprisoned mongrel folk who need to be fed are on the ground floor.
Okay. So are there like bowls or anything? Are they locked up or are they just here?
You don't see any bowls.
Okay. Are the other beasts just in this room or nearby?
There's nobody in this room that you've just entered. This office seems to be empty except for the hallway leading to where the actual containment area is, the cells, as it were.
Okay.
And then you see the staircase going upstairs, and all's quiet upstairs. When you stand in front of the long hallway that leads to the rooms where the mongrel folk are contained, it looks like something out of Silence of the Lambs. It's just this dark, ominous, dirt-strewn hall that hasn't been swept in years, with doors on opposite sides of one another all the way down the hall. You count a total of 8 doors along the hall length, and then another door at the very, very far end opposite you. This long hallway is not completely devoid of occupants, however. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, and you're actually really good at seeing in darkness in this form, you can see that there is a lumbering shape at the far end of the hall. It must be 8 or 9 feet tall. It seems to be malproportioned and moving with the slow gait of a zombie. And it's kind of getting bigger as it makes its way toward you.
Do I see anything nearby or on my person that would be used to open up these cells? Or is it...
You do not.
Okay.
Fire.
Here's the food, big guy.
Set it on fire.
Give it to them.
All right. As that's happening, what are the rest of you doing out in the courtyard? You have either seen or heard that deformed creature in the cauldron enter the residential building. It sort of left the door open behind it. Curiously, it also left the door open behind it to the other building. So both buildings now have open doors leading to their insides.
Is there anyone else in the courtyard now besides the bat creature?
Just the bat creature and you guys.
So I peek around, and do I see where Strix and Paulton are hiding?
Yeah, you can. There's this like little murmured conversation happening under 2 horse drops side by side.
Very comical.
I peek over and kind of like peek under the horse trough, and I'm like, "Hey guys,
yeah,
was that your fan?"
No, it's a complicated story.
Oh, like a really, really big fan? Like one of those fans, like a special fan?
No, it was DF.
No, you're confused. Are you drunk again?
It was DF. Just let that sink in. Just think about that for an
All
second.
right, I'll just.
Cleveland, he's not drunk. He's telling the truth. DF is a ghost. He's a ghost.
Can I do like a, I don't know, what would I do? A religion check?
Yep. What would you like to ascertain with that check?
Spooky ghost.
How likely I think it is that that's possible?
Oh, sure.
I rolled very poorly.
Of course you don't think it's possible. Of course.
13's not that bad, I guess.
No, actually, that's pretty good. You know with a 13 that ghosts are real. They're not make-believe.
Okay, then I absolutely want to believe that. So when Strix says it, I'm like, he is, and I just like start running after the guy with the cauldron.
Oh God.
And then there were two. So Strix and Paulton, you are underneath the horse troughs, and Evelyn just bolts off very enthusiastically.
Oh
Not
no.
necessarily like trying to run away from you, but just like yay and running toward him.
Evelyn, I have to ask you, what are you doing with the corpse burrito? Just leaving it?
I left it there.
Left it there?
Oh God.
It's fine. It's hidden.
Yeah. Okay. So Paulton and Strix, after Evelyn heads off to follow the two-headed creature with the cauldron, what do the two of you do?
For one, I'm like, where'd the body go? Did you just leave it somewhere?
The last you saw, Evelyn dragged it into.
Chewy snorts today.
I'm very sleepy. It comes out easier.
Evelyn dragged it into the gatehouse the last you looked. You did not see it with her when she just came to you. Now you can put that together as you will.
I can't carry it. I have weak, sad arms. So I don't know what to do. What do you want to do, Paulton?
I'm bad attitude. Sorry, I'm not there.
Do we follow our ghost friend who is now in possession of a body that is incredibly strong and could probably just solve this whole situation for us? Why even put him back in his body, to be honest? That one looks way bigger and scarier.
I agree. Yeah, maybe we should keep an eye on the big guy. See what he's
Okay.
see what he's up to.
We're gonna regret this.
No.
When have we ever done anything we regret? Really?
All right, I'll hustle out from underneath the horse trough and gather all my snacks. It looks like I was just like watching a movie under there, and then just like continue and following as wherever Paulton's going.
Okay. So DF, make a perception check to see if you can get a better look at this lumbering creature.
You got it. 8. So no.
Okay. You can't really assess much more information at this point in time. It's not moving very quickly, but it is getting closer to you. You see that it's basically not wearing any clothes.
Nice.
It's got the gray pallor of death, but it seems to be made out of flesh that's been stitched together from many different creatures, mostly apparently humans. You would surmise that this is some sort of fleshy construct.
I say, feed them, servant.
All right. The big lumbering creature will come over to you. And now that it's close to you, like right next to you, you can see that it appears to be some sort of big flesh golem.
Yeah.
It picks up the cauldron and makes its way to the first two doors along the hall and stands there with the cauldron held up and does nothing.
God damn it. Good job.
And you can hear, now that the smells and aromas of this broth are sort of seeping into the corridor, beyond the doors, you can hear the sounds of food, feed us, food. Hey, there we go.
I will then proceed to, this is either awesome here. I will unlock or unhinge or otherwise open each and every door, but rather than serving them said food, I'm just going to be like, have at it.
Okay. When you get to the first door, do you want the door on your right or your left? Just out of curiosity.
Good adventurers go left.
Right. Okay. No, left. So when you get to that door, you realize it's not locked at all.
Oh, good.
And so you can push it open. When you do, you see 4 mongrel creatures brawling amid the wreckage of what used to be some sort of bedchamber, while a 5th one watches and cackles behind a life-sized painted wooden statue of a saintly woman in robes. But as soon as the door is thrown open, you can see there's still sort of the fighting starts to die down, and you can see they seem to be fighting over bowls. And one of them grabs a wooden bowl that they've been fighting over and sort of makes his way toward you, and then is tackled by another one who takes the bowl from his grasp, who is then tackled by a 3rd one who takes the bowl, and finally is standing before you, holding it in your face, saying, "Food!
Go get it yourself." Great.
He looks nervously at the big lumbering creature over your shoulder standing in the hallway.
Don't be a bitch.
All right, make a persuasion check, DF.
Okay.
That's the language of the monsters.
Shut up. Well, I'm trying my best here.
Yep.
Oops. 8.
Okay. You can see that their fear of the big hulking brute creature seems to be so great that they are reluctant to leave the room. And you can't seem to persuade them to go out into the hall. And they sort of think you actually get the sense that at least 1 or 2 of them think that this is one of your latest traps to get them killed.
Nonsense. That's fine. Grow some balls or starve, and I'll move on to the next door.
All right. When you throw open the door across from that one, which is room E, you can see this room is packed wall to wall with mongrels wallowing in their own filth, and the floor is strewn with gnawed bones. You can count over a dozen of them crammed into this small 20-foot square room. And you can see that the bones seem to be the remains of mongrel folk who perished or were eaten. So they too, they begin piling around the door around you, and they're all holding out bowls, or many of them are, stuffing them in your face and waiting for you to fill up their bowls with some broth.
I hate this. There's way more dudes than I thought. I was hoping maybe like 1 per room.
No, you've so far encountered a total of, looks like about 21.
Oh God.
You know what? Changed my mind. Get a nice ladle and start feeding them.
Okay. So when
One
you,
at a time.
as you come over to the cauldron, the big giant golem will hold up the lid so that you can get the ladle out and start scooping broth into the bowls. And you start to feed them. Around this time is when Evelyn shows up. So Evelyn, you come barreling into a ruined office that has a staircase going up to the 2nd floor and a long hallway leading off of the office. Just a few feet down this hallway, you can see the 2-headed creature ladling out soup into bowls for the myriad creatures who are confined to the rooms off of this hallway, while this giant flesh golem stands there holding the cauldron, immobile.
I, with joy, leap and use my winged boots to fly and wrap my arms around the flesh golem's neck and say, "Tia!"
What?
So much!
All right. So as you wrap your arms around this burly behemoth of a creature, the cauldron sort of sloshes and bits of broth go spilling out onto the floor, and all these mongrel folk in their rooms start to just sort of cry out and clutch their heads and go, "Food!" And then, but the big guy, he's just like,
God damn it.
Awkward.
Oh my god.
I'm like, damn, I was sure you were dead. I'm so glad you're alive. It's like, your ghost is in there. That is a nice big body you found.
Yeah, Evelyn, over here.
Says the two-headed creature.
No, this is this one. That's an actual golem. Don't mess with the golem.
Oh, I kind of like float backwards a little bit, and I kind of like pat it on the head.
Yeah.
Like, sorry about that misunderstanding.
Dieth, if you could have the world's biggest ghost headache, you'd have that right now, because that mewling baby thing is still screaming.
Great.
Body.
Awesome.
I noticed the screaming baby, and
No, actually, you don't see the baby screaming. It's all in Dieth's head.
Oh my God.
oh,
Because Dieth has submerged the personalities of the creature he's inhabiting. They're basically unconscious, and what he's hearing is this unconscious screaming of this other half of the body.
The baby's the manifestation of all my party.
All you hear, Evelyn, is the screaming of food from the myriad mongrel folk around you, and whatever this two-headed creature is saying to you now. Dieth, you hear all of that noise, and plus the screaming of the kid. You can barely even hear yourself speak.
I hate this. Okay, looking over at Evelyn. Buying time here. Go upstairs to check that out. I hate this. Please help. Go upstairs.
okay. I'm glad you're alive. I'll go upstairs. I just kind of like keep looking at him, but walk upstairs.
All right, it's around that time when Strix and Paulton kind of burst into the ruined office, and you are face to face with them, Evelyn. And I won't repeat the description, but Strix, Paulton, you can also see this madness transpiring.
I don't want to mess with that basher. He's real big.
Mm-hmm.
Though, gave me a hug, kind of.
Did he tell you anything?
He said it was awkward.
No, not him. I mean Dieth in the other body.
Oh, he said to go upstairs. I don't know why. I thought he'd be happy to see us.
A ghost.
Yeah, he's been with you the whole time, of course.
Let's go upstairs.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's head on up.
All right.
All right, but I'm kind of worried about him.
He's dead.
Yeah, it can't get much worse.
Well, that's
Right.
true. All right.
Okay, so Dieth, is it your intention just to go through and basically feed the masses?
Actually, at this point, I want to again release my grasps because I am done with his headache.
Okay.
I hate this, and that way he just knows he's there, and there's whatever chaos, and he has to finish feeding them. Otherwise, maybe he'll get mauled or something. And with that, I'll sludge my spiritual way through to join the rest of my party and at least look on with them.
Okay, so you're going to remain disembodied then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I also learned that ghosts can feel headaches.
You head up a creaky flight of stairs, and when you get to the top of the stairs, immediately on your left is a closed door. You're not sure where that leads, but based on your spatial intuition, that might lead out onto the courtyard wall. The room that you find yourself in at the top of the stairs has a wooden counter shaped like an L. And all the other furniture has rotted away, leaving heaps of moldy wood and faded cloth. There is one other exit from this room, and it is across from the door nearest you, about 30 feet away. It seems to lead deeper into the building. There are two windows here. They have shutters covering them. The wood of the shutters is in such poor repair that you can see through the gaps out into the mountainside. So yeah, other than the old L-shaped counter, there's really little intact here, and there's no sign of habitation or no indication that somebody's been here in some time. Two exits, one to your left, one deeper into the room to your right.
I look at Strix and Paulton, and I'm like, did you happen to remember to bring the body?
That was your job. I can't even lift it.
Right. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. And I go looking for
No, don't leave!
Yeah, so she goes trundling down the stairs again, leaving Strix and Paulton by themselves in this ruined chamber. Strix, Paulton, what would you like to do? Oh, and Diath, are you following Evelyn, or are you staying with these two?
I'll stay here.
Okay.
Ugh. This cold breeze makes me feel suddenly smarter. Can I see if there's anything of worth? I mean, it's all rotten in here, so there's probably nothing of worth in here anyway.
As you look around, you see the wood of the counter is old, soft, and easily broken. There's nothing of value there. You can still hear the whoops, laughter, and screams of the mongrelfolk below you. The clamor is so loud it seems to drown out everything else. But yeah, you don't. A cursory search inspection of the room yields nothing of value or interest.
I don't think there's anything in here. If anything, we should go onto the wall and try to get to the next building and see if we can find the person in charge of this mess. What do you think, Paulton? Since Evelyn just ran away, I guess this is what
not the best decision. Sure. I'm still trying to get adequated to everything that just happened. I really got to know Diath really well, and I'm trying to recover from that. So let's do that thing that you said.
All right. So I'm going to open the door to the ramparts, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah, when you do, you're right there. You're standing on the ramparts. There is a rampart wall that forms a circuit that you can follow all the way. It encircles the entire courtyard. You can even see at this point Evelyn running across the courtyard below you back to the gatehouse to collect.
I'll be right back. Don't worry.
Stop yelling!
Seriously.
You can see that part of the wall faces the inner part of the abbey, overlooking sort of the front entrance. And some pine trees covered with snow. There are 2 scarecrow guards, one of which you knock the head off of, facing that direction. The majority of the wall faces the outward view, the view overlooking the cliff and peering down the mountainside upon the village of Kresk far below. You're about 700 feet above the village of Kresk at this point. And there are more scarecrows on the outward-facing wall as well. You count about 6 of them. They're all clearly inanimate dummies. And of course, on the very far side of this rampart, you see another door leading to the 2nd story of the church building.
I'm going to look at Paulton and be like, let's try not to fall down there ever, and continue towards the church building.
All right.
And I'm going to try and make eyes at Evelyn so she can use her boots to get up to us when she gets the body or something. I'm just going to try and be like, we're up here. I'm not going to yell. Make eyes at her.
Yeah. With the
Did
body.
I see them as I was running across the courtyard? I was
yeah.
Back at them.
Yeah, you probably caught a glimpse of them for sure. And the body might be a little bit too much to bear for you and your little wingy boots. Because it weighs the same as a normal person does, obviously.
Yeah. I've tried to carry bodies with my boots before. It didn't work.
Yeah. That being said, if you want to avoid going back into the building and up the stairs with Diath, you could tie a rope around the body here and fly up with the rope and then have you and your friends pull Diath's corpse up.
It's a great idea.
All right. Done. You have Diath's corpse once more in your possession, the 3 of you.
Was it just still leaning there safely?
Yep.
Slightly bent against the wall?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
I breathe a sigh of relief, throw it over my shoulder gently, but effectively.
Okay. Now you're all on the roof, on the ramparts of the wall, heading toward the church building. When you get to the 2nd floor door, you see it is closed. Would you like to take any precautions or do anything before you open it?
If only we had someone that could pick the lock.
If
I'm a ghost. I can't wait.
You can't do anything, right? Unless
Can
you
I go through
somebody.
doors and or walls?
You could actually pass right through the door if you wanted to. All right.
I will phantomly scout ahead for my party.
Nice.
Okay. What would the rest of you like to do?
Well, the door's locked, so.
Is it?
Let's see.
I guess I have my battle axe out in one hand.
Is the door locked? Did anyone try it?
I'll try the door. I'll reach out and wriggle the handle.
It is not locked.
Oh.
Huh.
Well, look at that.
So, Diath, you're able to see the contents of the room moments before Strix tries the handle and the door sort of opens before her.
Through me.
You see a wood-floored room. It's about 50 feet square. There are windows on every wall except the wall that you are coming through, except the wall with the door in it. Those windows are made of stained glass, so they're not easy to see through. But they do cast colorful. They do bring some color to an otherwise drab chamber. You can see that there is a wooden staircase with a railing that descends to the lower level of this room. You can see unlit lanterns hanging from the rafters, which are quite high. And there is a rope that dangles from a bronze bell lodged in a belfry 30 feet overhead. The room is quiet but cold. You see a black shroud covers a humanoid shape lying on a wooden table. There is also a cot heaped with furs in one corner of the room. And it's surrounded by empty wine bottles that just sort of are littered on the floor. There's an oil lamp burning atop a table near the cot. And other than the cot, the light, and the empty wine bottles, and the table with the humanoid something on it, you don't see much else in the room.
Abbot?
And you hear a voice below you. It sounds human. Say, "Who speaks my name?"
Hi, Abbot. It's me,
No.
Evelyn.
I'm done. That's it. Done. Bye.
Come down, child.
No.
Strix, what's wrong? Are you okay? Do you have a bug on you?
I got mad and I unplugged my headphones. Hold on.
Come down where?
I think.
Downstairs, child.
All right, Evelyn. I'm going to whisper this to Evelyn. Evelyn, go downstairs. Pretend we're not here. And see how evil this guy is. Does that work for you?
I mean, all right, but can you hang on to the body while I do that?
I can't carry it, but maybe Paulson and I can carry it together.
Almost certainly you could.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Take good care. I like put it down and kind of pat the corpse burrito, and then I go, on the way, Abbot.
Diath, you have been a spectator to this. Anything you'd like to do while Evelyn trundles down the stairs?
I'm going to spirit my way through the floor and also go down to the downstairs.
Okay.
I also, like, if there's any way to kind of, like, make myself available to possession, because I know that Diath is a ghost and floating around. So I'm like, if he has something to tell me, I am receptive to it.
Fair. Okay. The ground floor is one large 50-foot square room with arched leaded glass windows. You see that there is a fire blazing in the hearth. That smell of broth seems to permeate this room as well. Like this is probably where the cauldron was until recently. You can see there's a hook in the hearth that the cauldron might hang on. Above the fireplace mantle hangs a golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun. There's the wooden staircase in the corner, which Evelyn is coming down. You see another corner. In another corner of the room is a stone staircase that descends into what must be a cellar. Now, dominating the room is a large wooden table that stretches nearly the room's entire length. There are several chairs around it. It's like a dining table. Wooden dishware and gold candelabras are neatly arranged on the table, standing behind which is a young woman with alabaster skin, dressed in a torn and soiled red gown. Her auburn hair is neatly bundled so as not to touch her soft shoulders, and she seems lost in her own thoughts. And standing next to her, clasping gently one of her delicate hands, is a handsome young man in a brown monk's robe. He has a painted wooden holy symbol that depicts the sun hanging from a chain around his neck, and he moves with the grace of a saint.
This holy symbol of a sun, do I recognize it as one of Lathander?
Make a religion check.
13, wait, nope. 15.
Yes, it seems to be an archaic version of Lathander's symbol.
So I see it and I genuflect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, Abbot, is it you?
He says, "It is I, the abbot, yes."
And who may I have the pleasure of meeting?
This is the Lady Vasilka. And she gives you a bow, a very gentle, quiet, poised maneuver.
I do a quick little like Bob curtsy back to her.
While they're doing this, I'm gonna cast a mage hand and try and get it to lift up the thing on the whatever's on the dais.
The shroud?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Upstairs, Strick's curiosity is piqued as there's a black shroud over a humanoid shape on a table. As the mage hand peels back the shroud, you can see a creature made of stitched together body parts.
I'm just like, I knew it!
And Strix, you recognize some of these parts as your own.
What?
What?
You guys heard the what, by the way. That was actually out loud and in character from upstairs. You guys.
And Paulton, you can actually see that it has your head.
Ah!
As these sounds
I'm not okay with most of this.
As these sounds are coming from upstairs, I hear them. I'm like, what? A pleasure to meet I'm so happy that I found you.
The abbot gives you his face, his lips sort of curls up in a mischievous smile.
I have come because I have been told that with the power of our holy Lord Lathander, you may have the power to raise the dead. Is that true?
It is. I do possess this power to raise the dead, as you say.
Far be it from me to make requests on my own behalf, but we are lowly adventurers in the service of Lathander in this land, and we have come to bring the light and protect the light, as I know that you do as well. And one of our friends has unfortunately fallen. And as such, we were hoping that you might be able to give your particular administrations to him.
How did he die, this one who has fallen?
He literally fell and was hanged by the neck.
Was he killed by Strahd? Or by Strahd's wish?
Not that I'm aware of. Strahd.
He says, then I can happily help you. I require something in exchange.
Of course, I would assume so. I am, as I said, a lowly servant of Lathander, and I don't have much, but I'm very happy to give you what I can.
He says, I would like to find, above all things, in this moment, a proper fitting bridal gown for the Lady Vasilka.
Oh, that's so sweet. Vasilka, congratulations. Y'all are getting married.
And he says, she doesn't respond, but she does sort of beam with joy.
Aww.
And then he says, I ask for your help in locating one. In exchange, I will give you the benefits of my magic and raise Diath from the dead.
I think that is perfectly fair. I'm just curious, though, as sometimes it does take a little while to, make an appropriate gown for such an occasion, and our friend's been dead a little while. I'm kind of worried that he's been dead for a while. So I was hoping that maybe you might help us out, and I could get you the dress soon, but maybe not before you do the raising from the dead part.
Make a persuasion check.
So persuasive.
No. Oh, I have such good persuasion though. 11?
Okay. Strix and Paulton. Upstairs, you realize that, oh my God, thank goodness, your eyes are playing tricks on you. For what truly lies atop the table are chopped up body parts, all of them taken from cold, gray, lifeless women, all of them waiting to be stitched together into something horrid.
Still bad!
Yeah, still not a fan.
You saw that, right, Paulton?
Yeah, no.
If I had your head, I would be drunk all the time. We have to go tell them to stop this.
Yeah,
You can hear very clearly because the voices downstairs carry so well exactly what Evelyn's been proffering to the Abbot and what the Abbot would like in exchange for bringing Diath back.
All right, I am like convinced that all this is a cult. People are possessed. There's nothing good going on down here. So I'm just going to go downstairs and be like, oh gosh, I was just running here. My good friend Evelyn was not upstairs. Hi.
I like follow behind and
we're also carrying Dina's body.
Right. So the awkward trundling down the stairs, talking while carrying this corpse wrapped up like a corpse burrito, of course. Diath, what would you like to do, disembodied spirit that you are? You're obviously privy to all these shenanigans.
I would like to possess his lady friend.
Whoa!
All right.
Whoa!
In that case, make a charisma check.
Charisma battle.
Against her charisma.
15.
15, you say.
Solid.
All right. You are able to possess her. You are now in control of her.
Great.
And as you sort of take a look at, while the Abbot is talking to Evelyn, you're sort of like taking a look, kind of, checking out your new body or whatever. It's really quite fascinating. This woman that you possess doesn't seem to be alive.
Oh God.
There is a consciousness that you are suppressing. It's a fairly weak one, but you can see as you look at your hands and such that there are seams in your powdered skin. Where disparate body parts stolen from wherever have been very carefully, meticulously stitched together.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay. So hearing this exchange, I'll say out loud in the lady's voice, "Oh, sweet Abbot, I need not the perfect dress to marry you."
He seems surprised to hear you speak.
Oh.
I was afraid of that.
But other than his surprise, other than his eyes getting wide and staring at you, like this is the first words that have ever come out of your, like the first time you've ever addressed him without any sort of prompting. And he says, "My dear, you are marvelous."
Isn't she just the sweetest? And you know what? Maybe if she says she doesn't need a gown, how about this? I'll perform the sacred marriage rites and that we can trade that instead.
He says, "But my dear, without a wedding gown, you will not be a fitting gift for Strahd von Zarevich."
I
know that name.
He says, "He was a king. To appear before him in tatters would be unbecoming of a woman as of your station."
So the wedding gown was for her to wear to marry Strahd?
You are right, my dear. I am going to give this lovely, charming woman as a gift to ease the tempest raging within the master of this domain.
So there's so many levels of questions I have, my new friend. First,
He ignores you, Evelyn, and turns to Vasilka and holds both of her hands and looks into her eyes, and he says, "What other thoughts have you, my dear? Please."
I'm going to take this time where he's just being a weirdo and just like, I'm going to do an Arcana check and just see if anyone else here is possessed other than her.
Okay.
I just want some kind of maybe magic. Maybe I can tell what kind of magic he's using to stitch these things together. Mm-hmm. I have a hunch he's not bringing anyone back to life. He's just putting them back together.
So make your Arcana check roll.
I got 19.
Very good. So you believe clearly Vasilka, like the creature you saw in the madhouse, is a flesh golem. You know that that is created through necromantic arcane magic, usually with the aid of some sort of tome or instruction manual or something. These golems are not evil. They follow the dictates of their creators for the most part, but they can be unstable and they can sometimes go berserk. You can lose control of them easily because the elemental processes that go into making a golem are inherently flawed. And so what usually emerges is it's always something that can be controlled. So this Frankenstein's monster standing before you is atypical of a golem only in terms of her size. She's not a horrid monstrosity like most of them are. And in terms of the carefulness with which she has been stitched together so as to appear as human, albeit with alabaster white skin, as possible. Great effort was taken to make her as beautiful a creature as she could possibly be, but she is still a construct.
He's no Abbot, he's a necromancer.
He definitely is a necromancer of some kind.
All right.
I would like to say to him, now that he's staring deep into my weird, gross eyes, and I have very conflicting feelings internally.
Yeah. By the way, he is by far like the best looking man you have ever seen in your entire life.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
This may not be the best thing, but worst thing in the world.
There is something almost angelic to his perfect beauty.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say to him, I desire not to be with Strahd, for my heart, I think you gave me one of those, belongs to my creator, you. And I like reach a hand to his face.
Okay, like to sort of caress his face in a loving way. Okay, you see that he has this weird
erection.
Yes. This weird look.
We were all thinking it.
Yeah. You see the stiffness coming on. You also see what's clearly a conflicted look, like a joy mixed with a sadness, like a realization that that's a wonderful revelation for you to have, but at the same time, it simply cannot be. This cannot be allowed. And so, he seems flummoxed, and he's at a loss for words.
While he's flummoxed, I'm going to start looking around for a tome.
A what?
His tome. Yeah. Okay. Any kind of magical tome.
Make a perception check.
10.
So, aside from the dishware and the candelabra on the table, you don't see anything on the table that would suggest a tome, and there are no other, aside from chairs and things, furnishings here on which a tome would normally rest. There's nothing on the fireplace mantle, but there is this golden sun disc that's quite large. It's about 4 feet across, hanging above the fireplace.
Can't steal that.
Yes, you do not see the tome, nor do you recall seeing a book in plain view upstairs.
Well, he has to hide it, or it's on his person. I'm not good at stealing things off of people's persons.
The tomes of these natures tend to be quite hefty and cumbersome. It's not likely he has it on his person, unless he's got it in some sort of magical container.
Right. I'm still looking around super suspicious.
Okay. Paulton, what are you doing while this golem and the abbot are having this exchange?
Can I perceive that it's Dieth making this girl actually talk?
Good idea. Make an insight check for me. And I'm going to give you advantage because, your experiences have...
Okay. So, 9.
You are not certain.
With advantage?
You are not certain.
Dang. All right. Well, I am just invested in this. This is just such an amazing, just tale of an underdog. And I'm just like, this is so good.
One thing I forgot to mention
God.
now is leaning next to the fireplace wall is what appears to be a viol, a stringed instrument, very finely crafted. Obviously, Paulton, that would catch your eye.
Just like, ooh, I can make the moment better. And I like run over and grab it.
Yeah, okay, you can do that.
I'm just like, no.
The abbot
I'm
is
just
so
like, no, don't worry. This is going to be beautiful.
The abbot is so consumed by this exchange and also by Evelyn talking to him that he doesn't even pay you any mind, and he doesn't seem the least bit concerned about the instrument. So yes, you can go over and seize it. It plays very deep, heady tones.
Cool.
Yep.
I'm just playing and enhancing the moment exponentially. Just super dramatic.
The abbot will tear his eyes away from Vasilka's briefly to look at you, Evelyn, and says, "Let us address the matter of your friend."
That would be wonderful. I was just
But no!
what?
We should why don't you ask him
Yes,
things about Lathander?
That's what I was actually thinking is actually, Chris, do I have like a general like 100% dislike for necromancy?
That would be entirely up to you. Necromancy, in sort of the religion that you were raised up, would be something that was universally frowned upon, probably strongly associated with evil.
Okay.
It's not beyond your realm of reason that a necromancer might not be evil, but his intentions would always be circumspect and
Right. So it could be a means to an end.
yeah.
I don't necessarily hate him, but
Yeah. Like in this particular context, you know, because the abbot has just told you that this necromancy is being done for a specific purpose.
Mhm.
The abbot says it's to basically make Strahd a better person.
yeah.
To ease the storm raging inside of him. So it seems to be coming from seems to have a noble purpose attached to it. At the same time, it's really fucked up.
You can see me kind of like struggling to find the most eloquent words to say because this is a situation I've never found myself in.
Right.
And I'm kind of like starting a couple sentences about like how no being is an object to be traded, and then I back off, and then I'm like necromancy even as a means to an end, and then I back off, and then I'm like, why don't we start with Strahd? You said you asked if he had been killed by Strahd, and then you're also given a gift to Strahd. Could you like enlighten me on, not knowing Strahd too well, maybe enlighten me on your relationship with him?
He says, "You are strangers to this land, are you not?"
Not technically.
You
yes.
blurt that out.
Yeah.
It's like,
He says, "Those of you who were brought here to Barovia were brought here by Strahd, and I do not wish to thwart whatever plans he has in store for you."
And why not?
He says, "Because he is the master of this domain, and to provoke his ire could have untold evil consequences. My intention is to help him see things that he has lost in his life, so that perhaps he might find the glimmer of happiness that has escaped him and at last be free of this place's dark curse. And if Strahd can find peace, then perhaps those who live under him can as well." So,
Mr. Abbott, he's not going to find peace with anyone. If there's anything I know about devils, it's that they don't find peace anywhere. And if he's being called a devil, I'm just going to assume that he is one.
I find your pessimism disturbing, young lady.
Well, I find you to be way too attractive, Mr. Abbott, and that makes me uncomfortable.
Right. I mean, but anyway.
got him.
The point is, I'm all for, pushing back the darkness and finding the light, but what was her name?
And what a ray of light, he says, gesturing to the construct before him.
Yeah, what was her name again?
Vasilka.
Vasilka. I look at Vasilka and I'm like, now, is being a gift for Strahd what will bring you the most happiness, Vasilka?
The abbot seems genuinely intrigued by whatever answer might emerge from her lips.
No. What would bring me the most happiness if I could stay forever with my creator, the abbot, and if he were to see the light and do your wishes and bring your friend back to life.
That sounds like the word of Lathander. All praise be to the Morning Lord.
But Bander.
He says, my child, I am a great and powerful servant of the Morning Lord, and I know that he would certainly wish light to be brought to this realm, and no greater means of doing so would be to make the master of this realm happy at last. I see no other way to do that other than to ease his burdened conscience and to give him the love that he so sorely lacks. And you, my dear, despite your protestations of love for me, I believe they are misguided. Yes, I created you, and yes, I do adore you above all. However, we must put aside our adoration for one another and commit ourselves to the greater purpose, the greater good, if you will. I ask you, as your creator, please do this thing for me, this very important thing for the good of the realm. Place yourself at the heel of Strahd von Zarovich and love him as you would love me.
If I do this, would you listen to these kind, light-touched folk and fulfill their wish of returning their excellent and underappreciated friend?
All right. Diath, you get inspiration.
Yeah!
The abbot says, of course, my dear. Yes.
Evelyn has like
We
a
will
couple
find
of
we
tears
will
rolling
find you we will find you a fitting bridal ground, but I shall not burden your friends with that particular quest. It is more it's more
I'm in the
important
back just bawling right now. I'm just
like,
he just wants to be with him.
yes, you're playing the viol
somewhere.
Strix hates this guy. She hates him. She hates him so much.
I was like, Evelyn was at first trying to be like, no, you love each other. There's no greater light than loving each other. But then she starts crying and she's like, there is no greater light than sacrificing.
This is hell. Strix has gone to hell. She's so miserable right now. She's just going to find anything that she can ruin in this room or take.
Well, there is the corpse of Diath lying on the stairs next to you. And Paulton is currently playing this instrument that you could walk up and smash if you so wished.
I like
there's also candelabras and wooden plates and the sun disk, and or you could blow out one of the windows with a spell.
That's true. That is true. I'm just gonna grab one of the candles on the table and just go just break it in like a small tantrum.
Right. You kind of strike the floor with it and it just sort of clangs and bounces around. It doesn't break, so then you kind of step on it and it's
exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
The
way to kill the mood.
Yeah. And the abbot sort of turns to you and says, please, my child, curb your infernal nature.
I hate you.
He says, here in the house of the Morning Lord, we know nothing but love.
Oh, of course. So that's all I ever get to hear is the Morning Lord. Why don't you tell us more facts about the Morning Lord? He was so great.
They belong together.
And he says, bring forth your deceased companion.
If he comes back as a monster, it is not my fault. Wherever you are, Ghost Diath, it's not my fault.
I walk exactly in time with Paulton's song that he's playing, and I'm
this
like,
guy's evil. He's making
cry.
It's gonna turn out terrible. You're gonna be a gross, nasty, undead zombie.
All because this is like just the background noise. And I'm just like, and I like kind of hum some words or like make up words of a hymn that go with Paulton's song, and like process myself and the body toward the abbot. And there's a table right by them, right?
There's a big dining table, yes. If you want to like clear a space there, you could do that. Or you could just set him on the floor in front of the hearth.
I lay him on the table and then I kind of unwrap him a little bit, but he rolls too far. So then I have to like scoot him and roll him a little bit.
Yes.
Like, but I try to do it as gracefully as possible.
Yeah, so you lay him out on the table like a dinner.
Yeah.
And unfurl the burrito. And there's, you see Dieth for the first time since you wrapped him up, and it's been a day and a half or so, and you can see any hint of color has just completely gone from him. He is as gray and white as any corpse you have ever seen. Eyes closed, of course, but it's really quite disturbing.
I'm going to do an intimidation check because Strix has been seeing you watching the body get done. She's going to look straight at the abbot and say, if he comes back crazy, like the person that had to be killed in the village, I will come back and destroy you. I'm also going to use my thaumaturgy to make me extra scary and kind of like make wind come into the room.
Nice.
Yes.
Super scary.
Okay, make that intimidation check.
Oh my god, I got a 20! Yes!
All right, so
Scary Strix!
You look scarier than any other...
I'm a little scared.
Than you have ever appeared before. Everybody looks kind of scared. And the abbot, certainly a look of fear crosses his face as well as he stares into what he believes to be evil incarnate.
I'll whatever.
This is fine.
And there's a bit of puzzle in his eyes as well as he tries to interpret the words that you're saying. And he says, my child, I don't know to whom you refer to. If you are referring to the young boy I brought back from the dead, the last I checked, he was fine.
He was not fine. He went crazy and tried to kill his family.
He says, well, maybe he wasn't raised to follow the teachings of the Morning Lord.
Morning Lord definitely did not make him go crazy. Don't you dare nod, Evelyn. I see you. I will put my rat in your sleeping bag and you will get all kinds of dirty.
Oh, wow.
I'm quiet.
Furious Strix. She's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, she's shut me up completely.
Yep. Okay, so he begins to cast the spell. You see, he doesn't seem to use any material components as he touches Dieth on the arm and begins to incant an ancient prayer to Lathander, the Morning Lord. And let's see, you have not been dead longer than 10 days, so this is good.
Hey. This is good. I'm sure all of this is good.
Immediately, and this is something that you have not seen since you came to Barovia, streaming through one of the great arched windows of the room is a beam of light. And as it comes through, it falls, multiple colors of the stained glass fall upon Diath's form, bathing him in this sort of colored sheen, this multicolored sheen. And as that happens, Dieth, you, in your current form, feel yourself ripped out of Vasilka's body and thrust back into your own. And your dead, pallid flesh begins to transform into the warm-blooded flesh that you remember before you died. And you awaken, staring up at the abbot and the ceiling of this cathedral-like temple.
I am like verklempt. I'm like, tears streaming down my face.
I want to do an Arcana check to make sure it wasn't necromancy.
Yeah. And in that moment, those of you who are in the room also see that Vasilka, she seems to stagger a little bit, like she just kind of momentarily lost her balance.
Well, I immediately sit up, back in my own body, and then look over at my friends and allies, and I say to them, "Are you guys okay?"
Oh, that's so sweet. You just came back to life and you're worried about us? And I just grab him in a huge hug.
Yep. Strix, what did you roll on your Arcana?
Oh, I didn't do it yet. 14.
Definitely necromancy.
All right.
I actually hugged Evelyn back, by the way.
I'm like, make sure you have all your parts. I start feeling his arms, and I'm like shaking him, like, that was not your morning butt, lord, whatever. That was necromancy. He's not using that other good, happy, good magic that you like, Evelyn.
Didn't you see the light?
It was light. Doesn't. It's just literally like it's just a light. There's a difference.
There's the light.
Now the light is gone.
I can make light. Look, I'm like casting light. I'm like, look, light. I'm not Lathander. Look, see? Whoa. Oh my God.
I walk up to Dieth. I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm just like, dude, you're inside of me.
I
just kind of look at him for a response.
I put my hand on his shoulder. We make eye contact, and we just kind of do one of these. Then we just move on.
Talk.
I try to get into their arms where they're clasping each other's arms, like as if I'm being hugged by them. Like,
Yeah.
great.
Nope. This is not a hug moment.
You see the abbot sort of clasp his own hands and just sort of take a step back so that you can enjoy this moment of reunion with one another. And he stands next to Vasilka and gives her a little like smile.
Does she smile back?
No.
I'm giving him some eyes. I am just like, I'm giving some real eyes. I'm like, Trix just kind of walks over and goes, can I see your spell book, sir? I would just like to see, can I just read your book? Can I see the spell that you're using to bring people from the dead that is totally not Lathander's super light?
Rude.
He will look at you, and you see that the smile fades from his face as he turns to face you, and he gives you a stern look of a sort of a condescending elder. And
well, that makes me mad.
Yeah. And he says, I do not need a book.
No, I know you need a book. It's around here somewhere. I'm just going to start ruffling through. Like
Searching through shit.
Yeah.
Tossing stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm just running around the room tossing things. Strix is not having a good day. She's very upset.
Yes, you see the abbot seems to sort of follow her around, but does not seem to interfere with her tirade. And he just keeps saying over and over, I don't need a book. So, Diath.
Yes.
I would like you to do something for me.
Oh, God.
I'd like you to break out the percentile dice.
Oh, see? I
What?
knew it! I knew something terrible was going to happen.
Oh, no.
Strix is always right.
Okay. Percentile dice at the ready.
Okay. Bear with me for a moment here. Okay, I would
Crazy
allow you to roll those percentile dice.
I want high or low.
Honestly, it doesn't matter.
Great.
29.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Jared, I will be sending you a message after this.
No!
I
knew it!
In fact, I'm going to send you a tweet right now about what is true.
Wait, a private tweet or a DM?
This is going to be a private. I'll send you a DM.
Okay.
But in the meantime,
Oh, that is right.
Strix suddenly realizes as she's digging through everything, she goes, I don't have a book. And she gets even more afraid.
oh noes. I just found this page. God.
Why is it, Evelyn? It wasn't the Morning Lord. It was just magic. Listen to me.
Do I have a holy book?
Just check if he's evil. Do your thingy. Ask the actual Lathander. You didn't even ask. You didn't even ask him.
You're right. If it makes you feel better, you're absolutely right. I have one hand on her, and then I try to detect. I do not detect evil, but the divine sense, I think it's called. Yeah.
Okay.
To see if there's fiend, celestial, or undead among us.
Very good. There is no. Hang on. Let me just. What's the range?
Good question. Hold on.
I think it's a mile, right?
It's
I
definitely
want to
big.
say it was a mile before, but I don't want to say anything for sure.
Divine sense. 60 feet of you, within 60
okay.
feet of you.
Okay. So there are no fiends. There are no undead. Technically, a golem is a construct, just so you know. They're not technically undead. There is, however, a celestial.
Ooh. And I can't tell like which direction they're in.
What does the actual ability say? Do you have it there? Or
It says I know the type, but not the identity. And it doesn't say. Oh, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you. So I know where it's coming from.
yes, it's the Abbot.
I sense that and I kind of stop and I'm like, and then I bow even more deeply to him and say, it is our great honor, Your Holiness.
And I'm like, no. Even celestials can be bad. Have you even been anywhere? She's crying on the ground now.
Now she's crying. Okay. Here, honey, just watch. What? I'll detect evil. Ready?
Don't call me honey.
So then I detect evil.
All right. Now this I have to look up.
Oh boy.
You're so barmy. I'm just gonna call you Barmy from now on. You're so mean to me.
I'm like,
Okay. So when you detect evil, you sense the presence of powerful evil. That evil is in the room with you. It is close. It seems to be coming from the Abbot.
I told you!
Your Holiness, you are darkly powerful.
Yes, I know.
I sense great evil in you.
He
Evil.
says, you are mistaken, child.
I am?
Yes.
In what way particularly would you say that I'm mistaken?
He says, how could I possibly be what you claim I am when I tend to the mentally ill, when I protect those who cannot protect themselves, and when I bring back from the dead those whose good hearts could reshape this land for the better? Tell me, how could I be evil?
Well, you see, lots of people sometimes think that they're walking in the light, but they've wandered into darkness, and without someone to tell them what's happened, then sometimes everyone thinks they're doing the best they can, right?
He says, child, the best thing that we can do is ensure that the evil does not get inside each of us. I would worry about yourself first.
Well, in your great power, then you might be able to tell me why, when I detect evil, I feel it so strongly from you.
He says, this land is Strahd's domain. It is an evil place. Perhaps you are being fooled by that.
I don't think so.
Perhaps the land itself is trying to turn you against me.
Evelyn, that's enough. He's already given us a great gift. I'm standing amongst you now, and I could not ask for anything more.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he was dead. Remember that?
Rick, so you were right. What should we do now?
Strix is just really mad and not saying anything.
I'm like trying to pet her hair and be like, Strix, I'm sorry.
She's just really angrily looking at everyone.
Strix, make a perception check.
I got a 3.
Okay.
I'm so
Carry on.
mad.
Carry on.
I'm so mad that I can't even think anything right now.
You see the Abbot obviously sort of uncomfortable with this turn of conversation, particularly after the great deed he has wrought for your benefit, goes over to Vasilka and sort of pulls out a chair and asks her to sit in it. And she sort of does so in a way that she's just basically obeying an order given to her. There's no emotion or anything. She just sits down and very demurely just sort of waits with her hands on the table.
Evelyn, did you tell us that, or Anna, did you tell us as Evelyn that this guy was a celestial? Did you tell us, or
No,
did
I didn't
I
say
tell?
he is a celestial. I just said like something like, "Oh, your great holiness" or something.
Okay.
We did what we set out here to do, and the
Yes.
abbot, though we may not necessarily agree with your methods, I believe what you're doing is still noble, and I still believe you are trying to bring hope or peace to this land.
He says, I am, and with the blessings of the morning lord,
Yeah, we got that too.
will succeed.
From great darkness, sometimes
No,
brings great
don't-
light.
no.
Yes, I believe that with all my heart.
Everyone has gone Barbie. Everyone is so crazy.
And
What is
Morning
happening?
Lord smile upon you.
those of us who believe in the morning lord so strongly should never be accused of evil, for evil is not in our nature.
That is not the case here. You rang as evil. That means you're evil.
He says,
There are body parts everywhere.
if I am evil, then so is Evelyn.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean,
You're agreeing with him, Evelyn. He's wrong.
I mean, it's in the name.
that's really funny, Paul, and I've never heard that joke before.
You're welcome.
He says, I have another gift for you. And
That's okay. You've already given us so much, and I kind of like back away a little bit, and I kind
he sort of turns to the fireplace, and then when you say that, he sort of turns back and sort of clasps his hands, like, okay, then, so be it.
No, I want to see this.
Well, you did just come back to life. You can have whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like your second birthday.
Strix, I understand your apprehension, but please let him speak.
He says, he goes over to the fireplace and kind of stands next to it, and he turns to, say Paulton, since you're there with the viol, and he says, would you be of some assistance and remove the sun disk from the wall?
Who does he say that to?
To Paulton.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a sort of a big hanging plate, and you can see that this thing it's made out of beaten shaped gold, and when you remove it, there is a niche hidden behind it, and in that niche you see a crystal and electrum flask. He takes that flask from the niche and hands it to Diath, and he says, "This is a potion of superior healing. Given your past misadventures, this may be of some use to you."
Wow.
I'm going to do an Arcana check and tell if it's actually a potion of superior healing.
Sure, and you can snatch the potion.
I did. I grabbed it.
Dip your finger in.
Yeah.
Strix.
Oh, I got a 20.
Right. It
Nice.
is exactly what he says it is.
No!
Damn.
You're so convinced it's a trick.
I take it from her like, Strix, now you were being cautious, now you're just being rude, okay? Take that back.
This whole time I'm like still holding the sun disk, like, so do I just put it anywhere? Or
And he says, you may hang it on the wall.
okay.
I go help him. Like put my hands over his hands.
Yeah, that looks expensive. All right.
And Paulton, as soon as you're done hanging it on the wall, and you turn back around, you see something that wasn't there a moment ago. On the staircase above you, the staircase that you guys came down, this wooden stairway, you see a figure who wasn't there a moment ago. She has curly raven black hair. She is,
It's the woman.
she has a weapon drawn and a red cape over her shoulders and hanging down her back. And you also see that she has sort of an olive complexion and dark, soulful eyes, and the faintest hint of a frown or possibly a smile. You can't really, like, half her mouth is curved upward, half of it curved downward, but she's quite lovely. And you notice that she has one wooden leg. That's her there.
Whoa. That's a cool
Okay.
wooden leg.
Yes. And make a perception check for me, Paulton.
Sure. 18.
You hear Madame Ava's words kind of echo in your mind, connecting you to this woman in a strange, almost mystical way. You also notice that that wooden leg of hers appears to have been crafted out of an instrument, a violin of some kind. And that's where we'll stop for tonight.
Everyone's like, no.
Can she play her leg?
Uh-huh.
Lift it up and-
We shall find out.
Paul Blaze's cards right. I bet he could.
Oh God.
Hey!
All right, we shall find out
That
next
was
week
good.
when Paulton meets the lady of his fortune, the lady of his fate.
Guys, it's making me real nervous to have to be real nervous all the time.
But Dieth is back! Yay!
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Hey!
And
No concerns there.
everything's perfectly fine.
Every night
Yeah.
Strix is gonna steal his knives. Every night.
Yep. Oh, so
That's
but are you going to give the healing potion to Dieth? Are you going to like smash it on the floor, Strix, or do something weird?
Oh, I took it back from her and
No, I found out that it was a healing potion, so
All right.
and Evelyn stole it from me after I was rude.
Yes. And just so you know, so you can write it down on your character sheet, Dieth, a potion of superior healing. When you drink it, you gain 8d4 plus 8 hit points.
Okay.
So it's fairly potent. Okay. And equally importantly, you all gain a level.
Ooh!
level time.
So
I get
next
to go
time
through spells again.
next time we play, you'll be 5th.
Man, we're getting up there.
Yep.
Yay.
Nice.
Fantastic.
So let's
So,
walk up to Strahd's door. Here we come, everyone!
question. Next week is the week of E3. Are we still doing a game?
Oh yeah, I probably won't be here.
Okay. Raise your hands if you probably will not be here.
Yeah, I'll be at E3 too.
I
Okay.
kind of.
All right.
I can be.
Then let's say no.
Okay.
No game next week. That'll be Origins is next week as well. But I don't fly out to the Wednesday, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, let's not have one next week and come back the week later. That'll just give you a little bit more time to update your characters.
Perfect.
And Jared will give you a little bit more time to process that DM.
No.
Yeah, I got it.
All
I got it.
Great.
I would encourage people to go back and like recap episodes if you missed any, because they're all on YouTube.
They
Yeah.
are all on YouTube, and there are so many fabulous moments. I can't even begin to count them.
There's so many wonderful ones.
Yes. So in terms of anticipating assuming that business at the St. Markovia Abbey is not going to carry us through the entire next session, have you guys thought about where you might want to go next if that becomes a possibility?
Wizard of Wines.
Wizard
Yeah.
of Wines?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the
Mostly
line.
because we need wine.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Very important stuff.
Okay.
Secretly hoping there's a wizard there. That might just be my gut feeling.
We also need to make sure Arena's okay.
Yes, right. Yeah, she's still down in the village below,
Yeah.
helping the burgomaster's wife. But yes. Okay, great. Well, that gives me a lot to go on. Anything else anybody want to say about what's coming up in your lives that you want to share with the all-consuming public?
E3 week will be an extra exciting time, especially if any of you guys like Nintendo.
Ooh,
I'm just gonna go with that.
I like Nintendo.
I do too. I'm going to be doing all of the Twitch festivities on twitch.tv/Twitch. And we have not only the main E3 days, we have day 0, which is all the press conferences and reveals and stuff that we'll watch and talk about the whole day. And then before that, all night leading up to that, we have the show called the Pre Show, which is just a crazy, zany, all-nighter type of weird, fun show. So if you want to you can get all your E3 madness for 5 days, and it's all on /Twitch. I hope you guys come hang out because that's going to be fun craziness.
Very cool. And Nate, you had a big release today.
I did. Well, if anyone watching enjoys anime music, opening, stuff like that, I just released an album that has a bunch of anime covers called Genesis. It's on iTunes. If you want to go look it up, that would be awesome. Appreciate it.
It's kind of a big deal. Yep.
It's moderate.
All right. And as I mentioned, Origins is next week. That's in Columbus, Ohio. If you're into gaming conventions, please stop by and say hello. Me and several other folks from Wizards of the Coast will be doing workshops and also running a few games while we're there. So with that.
Oh, and we have Miss Clicks D&D at 6:30.
Right. Yes. So stay on for Miss Clicks here on Twitch, and have a great evening, everybody.
See you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Woo!
All right. And we are out.